Hi guys. Um, Hopefully this video you can actually hear me because I uploaded a reading update video yesterday and evidently the audio is all screwed up and I'm too lazy to redo the video. So anyway, um, I just wanted to make a really quick vlog to sort of give you guys an idea of why I haven't been around for a while. Um, yeah, my life has pretty much sucked. Major donkey dildos the last few months. A lot of personal stuff going on, a lot of stress from my job. The stress from my job is not really that new. I've been stressed with my job since the day I started. But yeah, some of you might remember I was having a little bit of personal problems with this guy that I was sort of, I don't even know what the hell we were. I mean, I guess because it lasted like a year, I guess you can kind of say it was a relationship, but now it doesn't really feel that way because, I don't know. I mean, it felt that way to me, but evidently not to him. Um, so this guy, this long distance online thing that I had with somebody that I thought was really great, kind of blew up in my face. Actually, that's really not a right way to describe it. It didn't really blow up. It kind of just sort of petered out and died a really slow and agonizing death. um, Things just didn't feel right for a while. He would be sweet and nice one minute, and then he would kind of, act like he didn't want to be bothered the next. So I was majorly freaking confused most of the time. Um, and then we were having this conversation, and everything seemed to be okay, but then I had to go. I had to get off the phone because there was stuff that I had to do. And he seemed annoyed. He didn't come out and say anything, but I could tell by the change in his voice. And he pretty much hung up on me. And I I called him back and I said, I wasn't trying to be rude. I just had things I had to do. Things happened for him that way. And I always understood because I knew he was busy. Um, and he didn't respond. So it goes like a couple weeks. I don't hear anything from him. He doesn't call me. He doesn't email me. He doesn't do anything. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Um, I was, beyond confused. And then, I email him and I'm like, you know what? The only thing I ever asked you not to do was just go completely silent because I've had issues in the past with people doing that to me. And that's my major thing when it comes to relationships. That was the one thing I asked him not to do. And so, like a week later, I get this bizarre email from him where he's telling me he ended up getting into a fight with his boss and he quit his job and now they took his phone because the phone he used to call me on was a company phone, and now he's staying with these people that he knows in Seattle who have a lot of money and they're off the grid, so there's no internet, no phone, and the only reason he's emailing me is because he's in town at this library and he needs time to think because he doesn't think I trust him enough. And I'm like, what the hell? Okay? I mean, I consider myself a very intelligent person. I'm very cynical as well. And there was always something in the back of my head that I knew he wasn't telling me stuff. I mean, I knew what he looked like. I Skyped with him a couple times, so at least I knew that much. But there was stuff that he told me about himself that just didn't make sense. And now this story about how he's living in this guest house with this mysterious couple who have money and he can't, the reason he's been quiet is because he's been laying low because of his job and he doesn't have phone access and all this other bullshit. And I'm like, so I'm questioning this just like reopened everything up for me. It was a couple weeks. I wasn't quite as depressed as I had been. And I was starting to, get on with things. And then he emails me, and I go into this complete tailspin again because then I'm questioning what the fuck I've been doing for the last year of my life. He made such a point of saying how he wanted me to trust him, and he was going to prove that he was trustworthy, and how he's so transparent, and honesty means so much to him. And then he comes up with this story that is so blatantly not true. And so that was a couple weeks ago, and after that, I kind of went back into a little bit of a depression again. I didn't really want to have anything to do with anyone. You could ask my roommate. My roommate knows what a bitch I was. I love him. My roommate Tom. You've seen him in my videos before. I love him dearly. He's a great guy. He's been a good friend to me. But he didn't understand why I was so upset. He's like, it's just this guy you met on the internet. And no, you don't understand. It wasn't just a guy I met on the internet. It was somebody that I really, really, really cared about, because he seemed to be everything I wanted in a guy. He was incredibly intelligent and funny as hell, and he said the right things. And looking back on it, I know that it was all just, an act. Evidently, he was what he knew I wanted him to be, and when he got tired of it, he just sort of went away. And it hurts. It hurts. It hurts a lot. It hurts a hell of a lot. Still, you know. But yeah. So I kind of went back into my little depression again, and I've been sort of fighting my way back from that. Um, and I've been trying to read more and, keep myself busy, because if I keep busy, then I don't have time to think about it. And when I don't have time to think about it, I don't have time to be depressed. So that's my way of coping with things right now. But for a while there, all I wanted to do was sleep, which is basically when I get depressed, that's what I want to do. I just want to sleep. I just want to stay in bed and just sleep and just pretend none of this is going on. So I would get up, I would go to work, I would come home, and I would go back to bed. And that was my life. And it's like a day-to-day thing, And I know a lot of people might watch this and think, it was just like my roommate says, it was just an online thing. But it was more than that to me. I mean, obviously it wasn't to the person involved, the other person involved. But to me, it was more than that. I thought, at the very least, underneath everything else that was going on, I thought that we had this really, really great friendship. Because I told him stuff, I shared things with him that I've never shared with anyone else, even my best friend of 10 years. And that's really hard to accept right now, Because, I understand if he didn't want to pursue the relationship anymore, that's fine. I knew things were strained with us for a while, but I thought he would be a man and just come out and tell me. That's so much easier to handle than nothing, than silence. And the fact that he just basically did the one thing I asked him not to do. The one thing I asked him not to do is what he ends up doing. And it hurts a lot. It still hurts. Because it was a year. I spent a year learning to trust this man, and opening myself up after so long of just like shutting myself off from letting people in because of all the times I've been hurt in the past, and it was a process, and I was so proud of the progress that I made with opening myself up and trusting somebody. And it's like he just threw it all back in my face and said, you know what? It's not enough. It's not enough. So this pragmatic girl, very cynical and jaded, ended up getting her heart broken in a very sort of cliche way. And quite possibly, no, quite probably was catfished along the way as well. So, yeah. So 2014 has not been a good year for me. I'm very anxious to welcome the new year because I'm hoping that it's going to be better than this past year has been. And it's weird because ask me 6 months ago and I would have said, oh, this has been such a great year. Yeah, so that's what's been going on with me. That's why I haven't been around. I haven't really been emotionally up to talking to people, whether this way or just physically in real life. So, but I wanted to thank everybody who sent me messages and asked if I was okay and all this other stuff. So I really appreciate everybody who cares enough to check on me because it was very sweet. And I did upload a reading update. Like I said, the audio sucks on that, but I'm not sure what happened. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not. I think a lot of people have sort of given up on my book channel, which is understandable considering all the times I've sort of gone into hibernation. But it's kind of sad because for a while there, I was getting a lot of sort of comments and feedback, and and when that happens, it sort of spurs me on to make more videos more often. But like I said, it's understandable. I haven't been around. So anyway, if anybody is actually watching this, thank you for listening. It's hard. It's really hard every day. Every day I have to sort of give myself a little pep talk and just say, you know what? You don't need him. Speaking of which, I feel like this little teenager because I found this. You remember when you were a teenager and you'd be depressed, with your like ridiculously silly teenage problems, but when you're in them, they don't seem ridiculous and silly to you. Um, there would always be a song or an album you would hear, and it would just express exactly how you feel, and you just would listen to it over and over and over again. Oh, that happened to me actually a couple weeks ago. I'm a huge fan of Prince. I have been since I was a little girl, and he was on Saturday Night Live last week, and he performed with his backup band, Third Eye Girl. Holy crap, you guys. So amazing. One of the most amazing live performances I've ever seen. It was 8 minutes of perfection, in my opinion. I still have it on my DVR and I watch it every day. But there's this new song that he has out with Third Eye Girl. It's called Another Love, and it's very sort of angry and it expresses pretty much everything that I've felt over the last few weeks. And I've just been playing it incessantly over and over and over again to kind of just pump myself up and get myself going. So talk about regressing. But anyway, whatever. I babbled long enough. I didn't expect this video to be half this long. But I guess I needed to get it out. So anyway, if you sat through this entire video and you're still here, I commend you. Alright, I'm going to shut up. So I will talk with you guys at some point. So, bye.